Hi everyone, welcome to my weekly live broadcast. Today's topic is on, are key selection criteria in the public sector recruitment process dead? Are they dead? Are KSC not relevant anymore? Hi, I'm Athena, the Get Noticed coach, career strategist and government job application specialist. I help public servants and aspiring public servants nail their job applications, navigate their career marketing so that they can get visible, get promoted and get hired. But before I start today, I'd like to do my acknowledgement to country. And so in the spirit of reconciliation, I acknowledge the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea and community. I pay respect to elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people today. Welcome and thanks for being here. If you're live, say hi in the comments below, and if you're watching the replay, just add hashtag replay in the comments. You can also view this on my YouTube channel if for some reason you lose connection here on LinkedIn. So welcome to my broadcast on are key selection criteria dead? Now, I've been asking quite a lot of questions around this the last week or two because I've wanted to get a sense of how people feel about them. And I know people don't feel very good about them at all based on my last week's poll, which was basically, are key selection criteria dead? And the response to the topic was quite big. In the sense that the overwhelming majority of people thought they were dead or that they should be. And from what I gathered, it stemmed from bad experiences. So not getting a call back when they'd applied so many times and they just got sick of applying and never ever getting a look in. Others thought that people would just write whatever they wanted or hire people like myself and just write whatever they liked and write all these beautiful puffy statements and they'd somehow get through the process. But also in saying that there's an assumption that hiring managers accept substandard responses and that people would then get jobs from this, or get an interview from this. So those of us who said that key selection criteria were not dead were either at the management or executive level or like myself, who are in the career marketing business, okay? So this is something that we teach our clients to be able to do. Now, and so therefore, there's an assumption we have a vested interest in the process. But as people who have been through the hiring process or been on, in my case, I've been on selection panels, I've actually been a part of recruitment processes and had a hand in writing job descriptions or, hiring people, I actually have a really good understanding of why key selection criteria are required, particularly in the government sector. Okay, and I don't think they're dead at all. They might be in the form that they take now, because in the name of diversity and inclusion and wanting to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to apply for roles, we may alter the way that key selection criteria are responded to so that people who perhaps are not able to write them may want to send in a video or something like that, but they will still be required regardless of what form they take. Because even in the private sector, although they may not say their key selection criteria, you still have to respond to the elements of the job that you're going to be doing if you want that job. So whether they're called key selection criteria or not, it doesn't really matter. You still have to respond to the requirements of that job, okay? Each job will have a set of criteria, responsibilities, capabilities, whatever you want to call them, and you still need to be competent at those to land the job, and you still have to find a way to prove that you can do them, that you do them well in order to get shortlisted for an interview. Okay, and obviously the better that you can highlight your brilliance with proof in the form of examples, the more likely you're going to be able to land an interview for that role. And as mentioned in my post today, if you haven't read it, you can't fake results. And the whole point of key selection criteria is that you show the results that you've previously achieved that relate to the role that you're applying for. And you can't fake those results. If you've had no results, then you will write puffery. You will write things in a roundabout way and be really vague. But people who've actually achieved results from their work are able to articulate those well, and they're the ones that tend to stand out in applications. Now, it may be that you're just not very good at writing them, but if you've actually achieved results, then that's what key selection criteria are designed to do. They're actually designed to separate the people who do write puffy statements from those who've actually done the thing and can prove that they've done the thing, okay? And that really is the point of the key selection criteria, is that proving your point, that you are the best person for the role. And these are the things I've done before that prove that I can do this. And then it brings me to the point that I also mentioned in the comments of that post, is that if key selection criteria aren't responded to well by candidates, and hiring managers or selection panelists are accepting these sort of overstated and well-written responses or statements that really don't mean anything, then perhaps the issue actually lies with the hiring managers and the selection panelists and not the candidates. So we have to work out which of the two in the process, it's not working for. But first we have to work out whether you're responding to them correctly in the first place. And if you are, then we have to look at, well, okay, if you are responding to them well, do hiring managers actually know what a good response looks like that actually meets the criteria of the job? So in closing, what I'd like to say is that I don't think key selection criteria are dead at all. And I actually believe that they needed to be responded to regardless of what form they take, whether, you have to respond through, videos or samples or, in the written form as they are now, or whether they need to be in your resume, whether they need to be in your cover letter, it doesn't matter. They still need to be responded to. You still need to find a way to prove that you are actually the best person for the job. Okay. Now, if you'd like to learn the art of nailing your key selection criteria so that you can respond to them fully and so that hiring managers will be excited to meet you for an interview, then I'd love to invite you to my training next Thursday, 19th of May. That's my doorbell. It always happens when you least want it. Soon the phone will ring. Then I'd love to invite you to my training next Thursday, on the 19th of May at 12 noon, Australian Eastern Standard Time. Come along with your lunch and a coffee to hear more about how you can actually nail this process and learn, these three things, which is why your selection criteria aren't strong enough to land an interview for a senior public service role. The three mistakes that you're making that you need to overcome to become that person that they're most excited to see. And also my 5-step process to getting hired in a 6-figure public service role in 90 days, okay? And this is something you absolutely can learn, okay? Now, the details are going to be in the comments below. And you will need to register for this live training as it won't be live here on LinkedIn. So if you'd like to attend and you'd like to learn more about how you can use key selection criteria to, highlight your brilliance and actually land an interview and have the opportunity to land that senior public service role, then please do come along. I'd love to see you. I'd love to meet you. I know there's often people out there watching, but I'd love to meet you. So if you're free, as I said, come along with your lunch and coffee, and I'd love to see you there. I hope you have a wonderful day. That is the end of my live. And if you've got any questions, pop them down below and I'm happy to answer them for you or direct you to my broadcast next week. See you. Have a